Well, what's going on, everybody? I hope your day is going well. So, I've been using this app called Lectio 365, which I heard about on a John Eldridge podcast. If you haven't downloaded the app already, it's Lectio 365, and it's just a great facilitator for time with God. So, if you're interested, I would definitely encourage you to check it out. One thing they mentioned in the morning devotional today was the concept of spiritual amnesia, and it really hit home with me. I feel kind of silly because it's such a simple thing, but the idea of spiritual amnesia is kind of like, I've seen God do a lot in the past, and it's easy to forget about it. And if you've studied the Bible at all, especially the Old Testament, you know that the Israelites suffered from a chronic case of spiritual amnesia. If you read their story, it's kind of like God would do these incredible things, and it feels like you fast forward just a little bit to whatever the next event is or the next challenge they face, and it's like they've forgotten all about what God did. And honestly, the disciples following Jesus were similar in a lot of ways. It seems like Jesus would do something, he'd do a crazy miracle, and everyone would be like, wow, like, this guy's amazing. And then, it's a chapter or two later, and they face another obstacle, and it's like they learned nothing from the previous event. And I just relate to that. And it's such a human thing, but in my life, I know I've seen God work and be faithful in so many different ways, just countless times. And in fact, shameless plug, I don't know that it's the best book in the world, but I wrote a book called Tracing the Hand of God, where I talked about just crazy ways that I've seen God work in my life, and just what I learned from those things. And I've realized recently, and it'd take too long to go into, but I've been in a season where I feel like I haven't seen like crazy, I don't know. I don't feel like I've seen a lot of crazy miracles lately. It's felt like kind of a smooth season, but not one where I would be like, man, look at all this crazy stuff that God is doing. And I could explain more, but in the midst of that, I have just been pretty discouraged and just feeling like, all right, God, like, are you still there? Do you remember my zip code? Do you just want to make sure you haven't forgotten about me? And obviously, I know that God hasn't forgotten about me. And I know the same God who sent his son to die on the cross for my sins, and the same God that rescued a struggling 18-year-old on December 12th of 2000, and the same God that I've seen work time and time again in my life has not forsaken me. He's not forgotten about me. He's not any less real today than he was yesterday or any day in the past. But that idea of spiritual amnesia, I'm like, dude, I struggle with that. And I think there's probably a lot of different things that we can do to help with spiritual amnesia. We could I'm not going to start ticking off. I'm not going to start listing ways that we can address that. But I don't know. Have you ever struggled with spiritual amnesia? If you feel like dropping a comment, would love to hear. And I hope some of this was helpful. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I would love for you to. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.